Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival, and today we're going to take a look at the upgraded version of the Nitecore MH20. It's the Nitecore MH20GT, so stick with me. So when I first reviewed the MH20, I called it the Mini Monster, and Mini Monster it is. And now it's got an even longer throw with the MH20GT. They upgraded it from an XML2 LED to the XPL High V3 LED. You can see the smooth reflector there. The reflector is actually a little bit deeper compared to the MH20, which we'll take a look at in a moment. But otherwise, pretty much the same light. As I said, just a little bit longer in the head section here. The base of both lights is exactly the same. Same deep carry pocket clip, which I find is really nice. Flat on the back, so it'll tail stand, and you operate the light with the mode button here. You simply press it fully to turn the light on and off. Press it a half press, and that switches your modes. Both lights have what they call their rhombic knurling, which I find is really nice. A very nice responsive button here, some cooling fins, and just a nice fit and finish overall, as you find with many of the other Nitecore lights. So with that new LED, the MH20 jumps up in more than twice the intensity. It goes from 12,500 to a whopping 33,000 in intensity, and increases its range from 220 meters to 362 meters. Comparing it on a wall, as we'll do in a moment, it definitely has a much brighter hotspot and a much narrower beam. Now, just like every other Nitecore I've reviewed, this is Ipx8 Waterproof, it's drop resistant, and it runs on a single 18650 battery. And of course, another thing that's nice about the MH, or multitask hybrid line in Nitecore, is that it is USB rechargeable. Under the dust and water resistant cover, you have a micro USB, so that's nice because it's compatible with my solar panels and USB battery banks. So side by side, the body of these lights is exactly the same. You can actually take the head off of one and screw it on the other, and it works just fine. Of course, all the programming is in the head itself, but if we line the heads up side by side, you can see that the GT is just a little bit longer, and it's got a deeper reflector. Even though the bezel of these lights is exactly the same, if I line them up like that, they are exactly the same, but you can see that the actual reflector in the MH20GT is just a little bit bigger in diameter than the regular MH20. Mode-wise, it's exactly the same as the MH20. Operation-wise, it's the exact same as well. Now, this one has a little bit less runtime on high or on turbo, 1000 lumens, which they both output. This one will run for an hour on turbo, and the MH20 2 hours. So you get a little bit less runtime on its brightest setting with the GT. So you pretty much have to just factor in whether you want longer runtime or you want a more focused, longer range beam that you get with the GT. Operation is very simple. You simply just depress the button all the way down to get the light to turn on and off, and then you just half press, which I really like, to cycle through the modes. So you have your low here, which I believe will run for 680 hours. Then you have 50 lumens, which will run for 22 hours. 230 lumens, which will run for 6 hours and 45 minutes. 410 lumens, which will run for 3 hours. And then you have your brightest, which is 1000, that'll run for an hour. I really like the mode spacing with this particular light. Very easy to use. This light also has the great special features that I like in other Nitecore lights. You simply just turn the light on and then you hold it down, and that will get into your 3 special modes. So you saw we had the strobe there, then we have an SOS, and then you have just a blinking beacon. I like those modes, as I've said before many times in the other Nitecore lights that I've reviewed. So we can compare the two lights here, the GT on the left and the regular MH20 on the right. Even at the lowest mode, 5 lumens, you can tell that there is a difference in the two lights. If I crank them up just a little bit, you can see that you have a much brighter hotspot on the GT. Crank them up even more, you get some spill on the MH20 and not so much on the GT. It's a much more a brighter spot, and that's what gives you that extra bit of distance between the two. So hopefully you guys can see the difference between the two. We got the GT on the left and the regular MH20 on the right. A little bit easier to see at night which one is brighter and has the more the tighter beam. Especially if we go up in lumens a little bit, you can see it's much tighter on the left. So Let's walk around a little bit. This is low on the GT model, and that is 50 lumens. Can step it up to 230 lumens. Plenty of light, and with that focus beam it just shoots like crazy. Then we can jump it up again to 410 lumens, and on up into 1,000 lumens. Nice tight beam and shoots very far. So let's get the comparison here. Pull out the regular MH20. And you can see quite a bit of difference when you start shining them in the distance here. The regular MH20 on the right and the GT on the left. So hopefully that comes out on camera, that you're just getting a much more intense light with the GT. And if I shine it all the way down quite a ways, about 100 yards, that's the GT and that's the MH20. So it really starts to spill when you get out far. You can also instant access to turbo by holding down the button, or with it off you can half press and you can get instant access to your 1 lumen mode or your low mode. Just a blinding light with a very intense 1,000 lumens. Love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, taking a look at the MH20GT with the upgraded LED and deeper reflector. I think it's another awesome light from Nitecore. I love the MH20. I'm not sure which one I prefer between the 20 and the GT. I like the longer run times on the 20, but I do like that further distance spotty or beam that comes on the GT. Either way, both great lights. You really can't go wrong. I love the form factor. I love that you get such an intense light in such a small package with that single 18650. And then of course it's awesome that you can USB recharge it not only at the wall, or you can use a solar panel or battery bank. So when it comes to Nitecore, you really can't go wrong. It is one of my top flashlights that I prefer, and they make a great quality product. I have had zero issues with any of the Nitecores that I've tested, and I've tested quite a few. I'm going to put a link below to Amazon where you can check out more features as well as current pricing and pick one of these up for yourself. Anything you purchase through my Amazon link does help support the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please share it with your friends and family on social media, anybody who might be interested in a nice light like this. As always, you can leave comments below in the section, and if you haven't already done so, please click subscribe and subscribe to my channel for more videos.